Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to our Shippo service hours. This is where we are going to talk to our new customers about getting online. With all of everything crazy happening in the world, a lot of brick and mortar stores are going online. So part of our goal is to just help support you getting set up so you can start shipping quickly and more efficiently. Let's move on to the next slide here. All right, so my name is Alex. I'm on the customer success team. I have been on the customer success team for about 3 months. I've been at Shippo for 3 months as well. So I'm just starting to learn things and learn how things are going, which is why we have Mike and Malcolm here from our sales team. They are the true shipping experts. I do come from a background in shipping and transportation, which is all a little bit relative, but they are the true experts. So Mike and Malcolm, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, of course. I'll go first here. My name is Mike Hathaway. It's great to meet everybody, and thanks for joining the call today and for that introduction, Alex. Expert is always a fun word to be thrown around. But in general, really appreciate having everybody on the call. I think we are extremely excited to be able to help businesses make a transition to the e-commerce space and want to provide our expertise where it is relevant to make that transition as easy as possible. So whether that's around choosing packaging or setting proper shipping costs or understanding how shipping costs should be factored into your overall pricing model. Those are all things we're more than happy to chat about. We'll dig into some of that today. But I've been here at Shippo for about 2 years. I've been in the e-commerce space for well longer than that. A little bit of experience running my own e-commerce store as well. So I'm really excited to be in this role here where I get to not only help businesses make this transition, but also help them save money on each shipment that's going out the door. So really excited to dig into some of that on the call today.
Hey, my name is Malcolm. Like Mike, I've been at Shippo for just about 2 years. My background also too is in e-commerce. Prior to being at Shippo, I was actually at Walmart e-commerce. So I've seen things at the large end of the spectrum. I was at a smaller online retailer before that. And also like Mike, I have a small little side business that I run through my own Shopify. So really familiar with the process and have seen Shippo and used it just like many of you from day one, just getting started. Until I had a bunch of orders coming through. So I've been there and it's really simple and I'd love to help you guys walk through the process. Hey, Alex, I think you're on mute.
No, thank you, Malcolm. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was just saying thanks for introducing yourself. So I think the first question that we want to answer is really just what is Shippo and what does Shippo do? So I think Malcolm is going to answer that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Shippo is a all-in-one order management platform. And so what does that mean? It means that you're easily able to connect your store, whether that be on Shopify or any of the other host of all major e-commerce platforms that we connect with. You're able to print discounted shipping labels. So you get access to exclusive discounted rates with USPS, UPS, and others to get the cheapest possible rates for all of your shipments. You're able to easily track your orders and provide that tracking information to your customers automatically through email with notifications and updates. And then also too, if you so need for your business, easy, hassle-free, and automated returns. All of that is handled through Shippo, all in one place, super simple, and we're gonna walk through some of those features today.
Awesome, thanks, Malcolm. So we do have a QA section that you can submit your questions to. So if you have a lot of company-specific questions, you can throw that in there. And Malcolm and Michael will be answering those questions. After the live webinar is over, they'll be doing a recording and answering those questions for you. So we've set up some base questions, like it says here, just to get you started. So let's hop over to that. Let's see. How do I choose my packaging? That's a great first question to start with.
Cool. I'll hop in and answer this one. I appreciate you kicking that off, Alex. And this is a list of questions that we were submitted for this webinar. I'm sure if you signed up, you were asked to submit a question. This is just kind of a collection of those questions most popular that were asked. And so we're going to go through those today. And then as she mentioned, we're happy to answer other questions either in the chat or also after the call as well. So obviously choosing your packaging is incredibly important. The first thing you want to keep in mind when it comes to choosing packaging is, of course, that your item will arrive safely. So if you're shipping something fragile, you want to make sure you're including enough either bubble packaging or styrofoam in your packaging to make sure that that does get there safely. And then when we address packaging, it should be around the idea of cost. So there are a lot of different options when it comes to packaging that really do impact the overall shipping cost that you'll pay when it comes to the carriers themselves. One of the most popular options for businesses that are either scaling or just starting out shipping within the US or internationally is the free packaging provided by USPS. They provide a number of different packaging solutions, all for free. And the best part is they'll also send it to your house for you if you don't want to go to your local post office. So they have flat rate and regular priority mail options. And those packages do have either the flat rate associated with them or they're charged a weight-based a weight-based priority mail rate. So really a fantastic option if you're shipping out heavier items that can fit in one of the flat rate boxes. And when we see heavier, we're thinking something above like that 10-pound mark. That's usually where flat rate options become a cost-effective choice for businesses. And then if you're using the other just priority mail packaging, this is a great option if you need your items to get there in that 2 to 3 day window, and you don't necessarily need to pay for branded packaging options or anything along those lines. So to start, always assess your options at USPS and with their free packaging services, because they'll send it to you. They don't cost you anything, and they have a tremendous delivery window associated with them. If you are using your own packaging, there are a bunch of other factors to consider. So first and foremost, make sure it gets there safely. Second, we want to look at the weight or size of the package compared to the item you're sending out. The most impactful factor in the rate that's applied to your package is going to be the overall weight of the package. So you want to be really careful not to choose a box or envelope or poly mailer bag that dramatically increases the weight of your item because then obviously your shipping costs will go up. And that's why those poly mailer bags, especially if you're sending out things that aren't necessarily fragile or don't have a problem with being like tossed around a mailroom, like a t-shirt or apparel, those are fantastic options to use those poly mailer bags. Very light, you can fit a lot of stuff in them, and services like USPS do discount poly mailer and lighter weight packages through their services as well. And then when it comes to choosing boxes, one other thing to keep in mind is making sure that your box does have the label properly displayed. So you want to make sure that label is on the top of the package. You can see the whole barcode, and of course you can see the shipping from and return address on that package as well. Generally, you don't want to fold it over an edge. You want it all viewed on one surface. It makes it much easier for the teams at USPS, UPS, DHL to scan in that package. And that's really important when it comes to keeping your customer both informed of where that package is and, of course, satisfied with the overall delivery timeline, making sure that it does actually get delivered on time. So when it comes to choosing packaging, first, always assess your free options. USPS carriers will give away packaging options for free. Keep in mind, flat rate and priority mail rates will apply to those. And then secondly, always factor in the impact that the weight of the package is going to add to your overall item weight, and try to limit that as much as possible.
Great. That was a very thorough answer, Mike. So next one, I'm going to kick this over to, sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Next question, how do I minimize cost once I've picked my packaging? So Mike, can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to continue this explanation. I think it's right in line when it comes to also picking packaging. Obviously, we're trying to limit that weight and make sure that the overall shipping cost associated with the item is as low as possible. So there are a few different ways to do that. First, we have to think about how we're going to charge our customers for shipping. So there are three very popular methods of charging customers for shipping in the actual shopping cart of your e-commerce store. The most popular are showing the live rate, a flat rate, or free shipping options. We see the most popular two options being either a flat rate or free shipping. And that's mostly because those two have the lowest cart abandonment rate associated with them, meaning that once a customer puts an item in your cart, they are least likely to abandon that cart because they're seeing quoted shipping costs in that cart. So when it comes to setting up what a flat rate or free shipping looks like, you really have to get a good sense of what your average shipment cost will be for your packages. And that's where Shippo and our tool can be a great asset to you in that process. A lot of customers will, when they sign up for Shippo, first make sure they have all their carriers active in Shippo. So making sure they have discounts with USPS, UPS, taking advantage of some of our DHL shipments, and then they'll create sample shipments for their most popular orders in a couple different locations around the country to see what our true cost for shipping out those items will be so that they can determine an average. Obviously, this is much easier if you have a history of shipments. You can just take some of those example shipments, plug them into Shippo, see what the real cost will be, and then have that average so that you can use that either as a flat rate charge within your shopping cart, or maybe consider increasing the relative cost of your items in your store so that you can then offer free shipping. Once you have the customer-facing side of your shipping costs determined, then it comes to like, how do I actually physically minimize shipping costs when it comes to fulfilling packages once orders have been placed in your store? And that's where our tool becomes an even bigger asset to businesses. So what you're seeing on your screen is one of our rate cards. This one's for USPS, but as Malcolm mentioned a little bit earlier, we have discounts with a number of other carriers, including UPS as well. We have discounts with USPS either on their flat rate, first class, priority mail, parcel select, priority mail express, and the same is true for UPS. We have discounts on the vast majority of their services. So getting a good idea of which carrier is going to provide you the lowest shipping costs is a really good way to get started. And that can be done either by creating those sample shipments or just waiting until your first order comes in and viewing it in Shippo. Our platform will automatically sort the lowest shipping costs. So that's what you see as soon as the order's imported into Shippo. And if that's what you want to pay and the timeline for delivery looks right, all you have to do is hit buy at that point. So when it comes to minimizing shipping costs, first, you want to make sure you are charging your customers appropriately in your actual store so that you can cover that cost, or some of our customers even make a little margin on that cost. Second, you want to make sure you're shopping across a number of different carriers so that you know for each and every shipment, you are paying the lowest price. You can do that in Shippo, making sure your carriers are active, and then, of course, our platform will provide you that lowest rate automatically. And third, we'll circle back to the packaging conversation here. We want to make sure our packages are as light and safe as possible. So don't impact the overall item weight by including too much packaging or including a box that might be a little bit too big for the item. So those are the three things I always ask our customers to keep in mind when it comes to minimizing overall shipping costs.
Great, thanks, Mike. So next I'm going to kick it over. I don't understand this. Kick it over to Malcolm. Now that we have our pricing and we have our packaging, Malcolm, could you talk to us a little bit about the actual shipping and how our customers can make the most of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Mike had already talked about, you've already gone through the process. You've got a really good handle on what rates are, what's a good way to set shipping costs for your items. You've already received some orders, print out the labels. Now it's time to actually get them in the hands of the carrier. So how do you go about that process? So I know now what's on top of mind is maybe limiting interactions with going in and out of places of business or being out of your home. I know it's some uncertain times. So what's really great is something like carrier pickups. So with Shippo, you can schedule a carrier pickup directly in the Shippo web app. And that's right in your shipments page. As you can see on the slide deck, there is a button that says schedule pickup, and that is for USPS and DHL Express. When you're scheduling a USPS or DHL Express pickup, it's always good to assume that you have about a 24-hour gap between when you're scheduling a pickup and when it actually can occur. So that's just a really good rule of thumb. Obviously, those times can vary and they're based on availability of your local carrier, but 24 hours is a good assumption. And so with that, that's for USPS, DHL Express. If you need a pickup for something like UPS or FedEx, you can still do that. However, that would be handled directly with the carrier themselves, with UPS or FedEx respectively. And then, so another point, when you're doing a pickup and say you have orders are coming in, business is booming, you may need something called a scan form or a manifest. So what that is it's simply a record or a log, one sheet of paper that you print out that has a barcode that's associated with all of the shipments that you're either dropping off at the post office or having the carrier pick up. So a manifest or a scan form isn't necessarily required. However, your local carrier may insist on you having them because, as you can imagine, if they're picking up 50 parcels from your home, they would have to scan each individual package to log them to start the tracking process. As opposed to having a scan form or a manifest, they simply scan one barcode and it automatically logs all of those shipments. So it's really helpful. As you can see there, you can create a manifest right next to the the schedule pickup tab. And so with that, it's simple within Shippo, and you can print it out right from your home.
Thanks, Malcolm. So I'm going to give you the next question as well. So we have our costs, we have our packaging. As we see, we keep going back to it on the slides. How do we make sure our package is safe?
Great question. So Mike alluded to, you want to make sure first and foremost that you have solid packaging that works for your product and keeps it safe at a base level. But with that, of course, if you have something that is of higher value, or generally if you just need to insure your packages, you may be looking for additional insurance. With most carriers, all service levels generally have some level of built-in or basic insurance included. And that, of course, varies based on carrier and service level. We have a little bit of them displayed here. We have some more information in our help pages that break down the whole list more explicitly. But beyond that, say you wanted to insure something that was like $1,000, you're sending jewelry or something like that. With Shippo, it's just 1% or 1.25% of the declared value based on if you're on our pay-go plan or a pro plan. And this is with a vetted third-party partner that we've selected ShipSurance to provide that insurance. If you do have a claim, it's the same process no matter what carrier you're using through Shippo. So really easy, super hassle-free, and we have a dedicated agent on their end that will be able to help you with that claims process. And all of this can be done directly at checkout when you're purchasing a label. And you can even select in your settings to automatically add insurance as well.
Great. And then moving on to the next one, and this is just a great question. I'm sure everyone has it. What is the real value add from Shippo? A lot of it has to do with our carriers. Malcolm, could you let everyone know how exactly we work with carriers?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think Mike would probably be the best one to answer this one. I'm happy to, but I think two questions in a row might be taking the spotlight a little too much from Mike, and I'm missing him.
I agree.
Yeah, thanks, Malcolm. I certainly appreciate that. And absolutely, optimizing across carriers is one of the things that our platform does best. So we've mentioned a number of different times already. Our platform has discounts with USPS and DHL out of the box. If you create a Shippo account and just start creating a label, you'll see discounts across both of those carriers automatically. We also have discounts with UPS as well. Those can be set up in our settings and carriers tab. As you're seeing in the GIF in the right-hand corner of your screen, at the top of that page, there's a button that says Get Special UPS Discounts. If you hit that button, you'll start through a process of setting up a Shippo-specific UPS discounted account. This account comes with waived residential and fuel surcharges, as well as significant discounts on both ground and second and third day select deliveries. So certainly a fantastic option to have on in your platform, and really competitive for packages that are generally above 4 to 5 pounds and going a little bit further away from you. But just a really good balance for your heavier and lighter orders to have both USPS and UPS. That being said, you also have the ability to add your own carrier accounts. So if you have your own FedEx account, your own UPS account, maybe your own DHL account, or maybe you ship through one of our other 30 plus supported carriers, you can also add that to Shippo. So in the same section, the settings and carriers tab, you'll be able to use that green button in the top right hand corner that says connect carrier account. And then you'll just follow a simple step to add your account information. And then when you create an order in Shippo, or an order is imported from your e-commerce store into Shippo, your negotiated rates will automatically show up next to our discounted rates in Shippo. So you have complete transparency in the rate shopping process. You have your discounted rates versus our rates versus some retail rates available as well. Pick the lowest price, print it out, and you'll be billed normally through your account if you're billing through or if you're using your own connected carrier account as well. So super simple and allows you to kind of grab all of your available rates, put them in one place, and always have that transparency to shop between them.
Great. Thanks, Mike. So we have our carriers, we have our packaging, we have our pricing. The next question that I wanted to ask is, how do the customers know their package is coming? And I think that one is kicked over to Malcolm, right?
Yep, I think that's one that I can answer pretty well. So I know if you're anything like me, as soon as I place an order online, the first thing I'm wondering is when's it going to arrive? As soon as I click that buy button, I'm pretty much automatically checking tracking. And I'm sure your customers probably aren't too different from me. So with that, Shippo allows you to automatically send tracking notification emails to your customers. So the email address that's associated with the order that's coming from your e-commerce platform or that you've imported will go directly to them saying, hey, look, you have a package that's on the way. Here's the most recent status update, and here's the tracking number. And they see all that information cleanly displayed in an email coming to them. And then, of course, when the package actually arrives and is delivered, they will receive a follow-up email alerting them of that. And so you have the option of turning that off and on in Shippo. So if you want that to automatically happen, you can adjust that in your settings, or if you prefer it to not, you can, of course, turn it off. Additionally, too, if you're on a e-commerce platform such as Shopify, they have a similar type of automatic email. If you want to utilize that, you still can, because Shippo communicates all activity and information bidirectionally. So if all of your orders are coming in from your e-commerce platform, and then everything that you're performing within the Shippo platform is communicated back to your dashboard in your e-commerce platform. So they can then send out those track notification emails if you so want.
Great, thank you. Moving on, I say the package came, they tracked it all the way, but now the customer wants to return. Malcolm, can you talk a little bit about how we would handle returns?
Yeah, absolutely. Depending upon your particular business or the types of products you're selling, returns may be a make or break type of thing for you. I know that they can be a bit scary and they're hard to tackle and it requires a lot of communication, but with Shippo, we do our best to make that as seamless and as easy as possible by automating things like return shipping labels. So with Shippo, you can elect to automatically generate for every order or on a one-off individual basis, a scan-based return label. So a scan-based return label means that your customer, if they have that label that you've provided for them, there will be no charge for you unless they actually utilize that label for returns. So for instance, you could print these labels off, include them in all of your shipments, and then the customer you would not incur any cost unless the customer actually utilized it for a return. Additionally, too, if that's not something that suits your business, you can of course always go into your Shippo dashboard and click one button to generate a return label. It will generate a PDF, send that over to your customer, and begin the return process that way. All of this, of course, fully customizable and unique to your business process, but we give you all of the options to make it as easy as possible if you need it.
Great, thank you.
Alex, I want to just real quick before we jump to the next topic, I know there was a question really quick I wanted to address, and that was if what kind of label printing should you use? The great news is with Shippo, you can do something like printing off an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with your shipping label on it. or we support all major file formats and devices for shipping labels, like the adhesive sticky labels. So to answer the watcher's question, you really have all options. A really good place to start for most people as they're getting started and have a few orders is to simply just print it out on a piece of printer paper and tape it on the box. And then as you scale up, maybe invest in something like a Dymo label printer. And in our help center, we actually have some recommendations for the actual label printer that we use in our office during normal circumstances, of course.
Perfect. Thanks, Malcolm. So this next one I want to kick over to Mike. I think the next logical question, now that we have the logistics taken care of, is how do we connect our store and actually integrate those orders?
Yeah, good question, Alex. And Malcolm, speak for yourself. I was in the office the other day having to print out a few shipping labels myself. So I did wear a mask and some gloves, so everybody was safe, but I don't have a printer at home, so I had to utilize that. When it comes to adding stores to Shippo, it's a super easy process. As you guys can see on your screen, we integrate with a wide selection of e-commerce stores and marketplaces. So generally, no matter where you're selling, we're going to be able to be the single place where you go for fulfillment purposes. The store connection process is incredibly simple. As soon as you log in for the first time, there'll be a huge prompt on your first screen that asks you what store you're connected to, and then walk you through that process. Should you not have selected that when you initially signed up because you wanted to test out our rates or something along those lines and get a good sense of whether or not we were a good fit for your business, there is absolutely another way to make sure that we connect your stores. So as you're seeing on your screen here in the top left-hand corner, all you have to do is go to the settings and e-commerce channels tab. In that tab, you'll see our assortment of e-commerce integrations, and then next to each of them, there's a connect button. All you have to do is hit that connect button, and then generally it will just ask you for your store's URL, as well as have you log into eBay or Shopify directly through our connection. And once you log in, all of that order information will automatically sync into Shippo so that you're ready to fulfill packages almost immediately. And so after hitting that connect button, filling out the store URL and your sign-in information, just navigate back to the orders tab, and you'll see both already previously fulfilled orders as well as orders that still need to be shipped out.
Awesome. So that all the questions that we had planned, that's really all we have for today. Malcolm and Mike, do you guys have some other questions that came in that you want to talk about?
I don't have any. I think we answered pretty much all of the questions. Either we covered them just speaking about them, or we answered them individually and posted some that were more general to the question and answer thread. I just want to remind everybody, well, first of all, thank everybody before we get off here for joining in. I know there's a lot going on, you know, with the pandemic, and navigating shipping is no easy task, but hopefully with this, we brought a little bit of clarity and a little bit of ease to that process. And I want to make sure everyone knows that this doesn't stop here. This isn't the only resource. We have tons of information on our site that are super helpful. We have an awesome support staff that is ready, willing, and totally able to answer any questions you may have. And that could be interacting with Shippo, our product, or even just general questions like things that Mike covered, like how do I select packaging? How do I get the right printer for my labels? Anything that you may need, we want to be a resource for you at this time. So don't hesitate to reach out, and we want to keep this conversation going.
Yeah, and I'll just echo Malcolm's sentiment there. Here on the sales team, we are always available. We have a team that not only does Shippo consultations, but full shipment consultations. So regardless of where you are in your fulfillment and logistics process, our team is more than happy to at least listen, maybe provide some best practices that we see other businesses taking, and help make sure your e-commerce tech stack runs very smoothly. I did just see a question that came in about printing multiple labels versus one at a time. You can certainly print multiple labels at a time. So if you are in our orders tab, all you have to do is use the check marks on the left-hand side, select the orders that you'd like to fulfill at once, and then you can purchase all of those labels at once as well. So whether you're purchasing labels individually or in batch, you'll have the same options, whether that's adding insurance like Malcolm covered, or selecting different carriers within the same selected shipments. Those are all available. But if you do have any other questions, either look in our support article for batch label printing, or reach out to somebody on our team, and we're more than happy to review that there as well.
Great. Well, thanks guys. Thanks everyone for being here. I just wanted to remind everyone that we do have a month left on our COVID pricing, which means our SMBs can access Shippo and label printing for free. So just wanted to put that out there. Remind you, we have about a month left on that. Cool. I'd say if no one has anything else, thanks everyone for tuning in today.
Bye, everybody. I see there are a couple of people raising hands. I'm more than happy to answer some questions that are coming in right now, just because we did end a little bit early. One moment here. Let me just pull those up. Carly Shaw asked a great question about how to charge customer shipping costs in e-commerce stores. So she mentioned that once a shipment is or an order is placed, it's very easy for her to tell exactly how much that shipment will cost because she can just plug it into Shippo. But she's having trouble how the customer knows that information in purchasing. And that's typically set in your e-commerce store. So this is something we covered a little bit earlier at the beginning of the call. So in your e-commerce store, you have a bunch of shipping options that you can set within your shopping cart. Generally, you have a weight-based, a zone-based, a flat rate, a free shipping option, and sometimes you'll have a rate-based calculator. Generally, zone-based and rate calculators have really high cart abandonment rates associated with them. So certainly, while they'll make sure that you always do cover your costs for shipping, you just convert less customers by using methods like that. So generally what our customers do is try to calculate a flat rate that will cover the costs of the majority of shipments being placed on the platform. So Carly, what I'd suggest is getting a sense of what your average shipment looks like, and then plugging a package of that size into Shippo in a couple different locations across the country so that you can see what your average shipment will cost, and then charge your customers appropriately, or either increase the items in your weight, or either increase the items in your store cost by that much. So that's certainly something you can do, and I hope that answers your question a little bit more. Shippo doesn't provide costs directly to your shopping cart, but it does allow you to get a good sense of what that looks like on the other end. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that one answered. Sherry asked about multiple labels. We got that one. Let's see. Need to know whether they're a priority. Hey, Robin, if you could reach out to our support team. I see that there are certain priority boxes that are not on your list and when they'll be added. We do try to have those as up to date as possible. USPS is always adding more options. Great news is the cost will be exactly the same if you just enter the dimensions of that box. You can even save it as a template in our settings and packages tab so that you don't have to enter it more than once. And at that point, you'll be able to select it from your drop-down menu. But if you do need one added specifically, you can always reach out to our support team, ask us which one you need, or let us know which one you need, and we can go ahead and add that. But I would definitely recommend just adding it as a template, and then you'll be able to hit the ground right now. Let's see. Lauren, if you're still here, you can export shipment data at the top of the Shipments tab. Top right-hand corner, there is an export button that after you filter results, you can absolutely use to export relevant information. Let's see. I am checking chat and the Q&A, so if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to throw it in there. I'll give it a few more seconds because I don't have any other open questions right now. Alrighty, I see a couple more questions floating in. So Jonathan Merrick asking about how to link your website with GoDaddy. Easiest way is to go into your GoDaddy store actually, and if you don't have any orders, place a test order yourself. And then once that order comes in, there's actually a button in GoDaddy that says Get Shipping Label. Once you hit that button, it'll bring you directly over to GoDaddy and you'll be able to start fulfilling orders. And it should log you in from there. If you do have questions, that initial connection with GoDaddy is very easy to set up, but just hit the Get Shipping Label button in GoDaddy. It'll pop you over to Shippo so that you can get those two linked. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to our support team at support@goshippo.com or chat in with the help or support button in the bottom left-hand corner of your Shippo account. Robin, I see you have questions about the different types of plans we have here at Shippo. There are two different plans we have at Shippo. There's a pay-as-you-go plan and a professional plan. Basically read them as pay-as-you-go versus subscription. The pay-as-you-go plan, on both plans, you'll get access to the same discounted rates. The difference is basically how you're billed and access to a few different features. On the pay-as-you-go plan, you're charged 5 cents per label that you create on a per label basis. So you make 10 labels, you get charged 50 cents. And then on our subscription plan, instead of being charged on an individual basis, you are charged a monthly cost instead. Also on our professional plan, you get access to discounted insurance costs. So Malcolm mentioned that one of our costs was 1.25%. That's on our pay-as-you-go plan. On the professional plan, that insurance costs just 1%. Also, if you're using email notifications, our professional plan does have a lot of customization around those email notifications in order to bring in your logo and branding opportunities in those notifications. And then you also have escalated support. So it's a monthly cost versus a pay-as-you-go cost, discounted insurance, escalated support, and additional branding opportunities in the subscription plan. So I hope that answers the different subscription questions, because I know I got that from Carly as well as Robin. So I'm going to mark those good. And then Becky, I see you have a question about getting started on a website. There are a lot of great website builders out there that connect directly with Shippo. A lot of our customers will start by selling on social media and then creating labels manually in Shippo and then launch their store after. So depending on your business model, that's certainly an option. GoDaddy, Shopify, Wix, Weebly, you name them. There are a lot of fantastic website building options out there for you. WooCommerce and WordPress. Those are all great options as well. So so to get started on Shippo, basically you log in, and then if you have an e-commerce store already, you'll connect that store to Shippo and start shipping. Also, I just type into Google Shippo Getting Started guide, and that first result will be a big walkthrough of our platform and a video that shows you how to do it. But if you just need to create a label, log in, top right-hand corner right away, there's a Create Label button, and that'll allow you to create that label without having any e-commerce store. Cost associated if a customer decides to return an item. So we have scan-based return labels, so that means you can send out return labels and you won't get charged the Shippo 5 cent fee for that label or the postage unless the recipient actually uses that label. So it's scan-based. You won't be charged unless it's used. But the postage generally, if you send out a package that's £1, the package that's going to be sent back is £1. They'll be the exact same cost going back and forth. But you won't be charged until it's actually shipped. Let's see. Shippo has the same or better rates in every situation with Shopify. There are a few rates that are lower for both USPS and UPS on in Shippo versus Shopify. Definitely a lot of places where we save customers money there, and especially customers who are on Shopify generally are also selling on social media or other platforms as well. So it's a great place to have integrate us and have one place to fulfill all those orders. Also, if you've been asked for a scan form or manifest, Shippo can create those for you. And Shopify doesn't quite have that in their service yet. Let's see. Save money on shipping. Alrighty. Jonathan and Robin just asked a question about adding their own account, whether it's through UPS or DHL. If you have your own UPS or DHL account, you can add that in the settings and carriers tab with the add carrier account button in the top right corner. Generally, you'll need your latest invoice and you'll need to copy that information to connect that account into Shippo, and then you'll be able to see your rates versus our rates there. You can connect your own accounts and then for your orders, whether it's in an e-commerce store or something like that, you'll be able to see your rates versus our discounted rates there as well. Alrighty, I think that is all the questions in here. I'm going to go ahead and end this, but I really appreciate everybody showing up today. If you do have any follow-up questions, please reach out to our team. There are a number of different ways. We have a contact sales form. We have support. We have a support email. Please feel free to leverage us, and we'd be more than happy to help out there. And from there, I hope you have a great day and happy Friday, everybody. Thanks so much.